Hi, it's Susan. We're going to take a look at today how to make a question in Blackboard that's dynamic. So you have one question, but multiple different numbers involved. So first, let's take a look at an example of a dynamic question. This question right here from my recent linear algebra exam. As you can see, make it a little bigger. I have a matrix, and it says consider the matrix where A is equal to 2 over X, and X is in brackets, and A is right there, and then they're asked to find the value of B. So B will be the inverse of whatever 2 over X is, and so I have an answer formula of X over 2. So when you're creating a question like this, you just need to put whatever variables you want to use in brackets. Now, something to be careful of, if you're doing matrices like I am, you can't use brackets around the matrices, not even in the equation editor, because it will try to recognize them as a variable, and that'll cause you problems. All right, let's create a sample question along these same lines. So we'll start by creating a new question. We'll create a calculated formula question. And you have to do a little bit of thinking ahead for this. So you need to know what the formula is for the answer for the set of dynamic numbers that you're going to choose. But we'll choose something that's pretty straightforward. So we'll call this factoring. Okay. So our question is if a variable a times x minus b times y is equal to a times x minus m times y, found the value of m. So the values in brackets are going to be numbers that will be selected randomly. And we'll get to actually curate those numbers a little bit in a moment. But what will the value of m be? Well, if we factor out a from x, we just get x. And if we factor out a from y, we'll get b divided by a. So for our answer formula, we want to put b divided by a. Actually, let's put that in fraction form. So b divided by a. And this will be a calculation that's done to match against the student's numerical answers. And so now we have options. This is for how precise you want the students to be. If it was a question where maybe they're using a square root or the sine or cosine function, you might want to give them partial credit if they're within the range, but we're just going to say they need the exact answer because we're going to make sure that the answers are easy to type decimal values. So now we click next, and we're going to be able to select the values that will be available to the students. So I want A to be 0, so let's make it at least 2. And let's actually do the same for B. We'll start them both at 2. And let's calculate our answers to 1 decimal place. And we'll do 2, as long as we can do whole numbers. And now let's calculate them. Okay, so now we want to eliminate any where the answer isn't exact. Okay, I'm just going to pause and remove the ones that are inappropriate and come back. Okay, I cleaned up the answers. Let's skip back and take a look at them. Okay, so basically I went through and I made sure that the values of A were either 1/2 of B exactly, or a number that would divide B evenly, so that I have all very sensible answers here. We could probably get a little bit more bold and make some of them 1/4 of B, because that's also a pretty easy answer to enter, but I think we'll just leave it at this. And I also made some of them negative, and so that's a good selection of values for the students. So let's submit this. And now we want to do is take a preview of this question. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and submit the test that we've created this in. And we'll make this not available to students, but we can take it ourselves. And here we have our test with our single question. And so we see when this question is pulled up, we get some random numbers. So we got 4x minus 16 is equal to 4 times x minus my. So what does m have to be? Well, that has to be 4. So let's save and submit. Well, it isn't set up for us to see our results, but that will be automatically graded based on the formula that's included. And so that's a way to introduce some more variety to your classes, make things a little bit more interesting. And that's what I wanted to share today. See you later.